Hey, hi, it's Meredith. I'm here with our message for Monday, the 11th of January, 2021. We're using a deck that I can't remember the name of. Doesn't matter. We've got cards. And we had 4 cards come off the bottom of the deck. So let's get into those and see what's what in the energy atmosphere today. Our first is, ooh, here's one we haven't seen in a while. The 7 of Swords. Yeah. The Thief. That is the nickname of this card, the Thief. And I feel that it's a card that represents how we rob ourselves of our own joy and happiness. You know, and I'm contemplating Friday's reading, or the weekend reading rather. That was a card about being able to identify some of the BS that comes at us, not taking any responsibility for other people's stuff, their drama, their story, and their projections. And I feel that this 7 of Swords helps us see where we might have a habitual way of assuming responsibility, and that would rob us of our joy. All 7s in tarot are about heaven touching earth within us. So when we see the 7 of Swords, we know that that is potentially compromised in some way. And if we've been projected upon, blamed, whatever, we may, through our intuitive, empathic gifts, temporarily accept that. And I feel Friday's reading was a great message of how much we have grown, expanded, and changed that kind of dynamic, in that we recognize it much more readily, and we recognize if we've indulged too deeply in it and somehow got wrapped in a drama. So I feel that this 7, oh goodness, going to say, let's look at the other cards before I elaborate. And here comes another 7, which is awesome. It's the 7 of Cups, though, so there's a bit of chaos and confusion. And I actually like this flow, because once we recognize that maybe we've fallen into some kind of habitual trap there, and we begin to extract ourselves from it, it may be that the most identifiable energy is the chaos and confusion that comes out of brushing up against somebody else's drama, lack of responsibility, projection, blame, blah, 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 right? So if we have that chaos, confusion feeling, and by the way, these are 2 of the most challenging 7s in tarot, once we recognize this, we're taking steps, we're taking measures to move beyond that. I feel ultimately we are all less affected by these things. We are much more quick when it comes to identifying it. We're masterful. It was all about self-mastery in that reading, if I recall correctly. So our self-mastery serves us. So it's not that we don't have these experiences or we are beyond them. Life is littered with them, and we will experience them. It's how we receive it, how we process it, how we move through and on from it, right? So it may still be with us a little bit. We may have had some, interactions over the weekend that brought us up short in this energy, which is wonderful, because there it is. There's the empathic trigger within us, identifying an energy that does not feel like what we hold in heart space, or it does not feel like heaven touching earth within us. And as soon as we're able to identify it, and then we move through it. So what comes next? You just have to love the tarot, because here's the good old Death card. Yeah. Wow. Well, there's the action. We put an end to it, don't we? We just stop that crap. So the Death card, this is the card so many people run in fear from. And it's truly a card in tarot to be embraced, because it's First of all, it's Scorpio energy, which is deep, expansive, it is wise, experienced, and visceral. And what better energy in which to really get it, right? To get something, to identify something, to bring the Scorpio out of your own chart and create a simultaneous ending and beginning. Fantastic, right? That's what the Death card does. It is the ultimate Wheel of Fortune. Death and rebirth, over and over again. Self-mastery, moving on to the next horizon. So I love that the two most challenging sevens in tarot are behind the Death card. Perfect, because this shows us, dropping the scythe on that energy. We are not in acceptance of other people's BS, right? And that's beautiful. It's not, that in itself isn't even dramatic. It feels empowering, doesn't it? Because we're recognizing self-sovereignty to our own heart. And that's what keeps bringing us the Ace of Cups, 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 8 of Wands, you name it. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? So, oh my goodness. On the other side of the Death card, we have the Empress. This happened recently too, and they're perfect together, aren't they? I know we see a lot of Death in the High Priestess, but let's have Death and the Empress, the mother of the tarot, together. So there's Death ending, there's beginning right there with the Empress. So she speaks to us of cycles, rhythms, what we hold in heart space, what we nurture in heart space, what we're gestating on, what are we creating? And what I think is so beautiful about these four cards together is all of this is really fertile, energetic soil. And the Empress is what is blossoming what's in the soil. So we've turned over the energy of drama, projection, blame, and we've embraced self-sovereignty, nurturing our own heart space, celebrating the loving overflow that we are, and sharing from that type of energy. So there's a little bit more. There will always be a little bit more to turn over in that soil, won't there? Because life experience just keeps, unfolding and happening around us. And it is so much to do with how we choose to respond to it, how we choose to leverage that energy to the highest and greatest potential outcome for our own selves. And as a result, how that blesses every aspect of our life and every relationship. Pretty sweet stuff. Oh, how perfect. So our next two cards, the first of those is the Lovers. Choice and decision. See, how do we respond? How do we choose? And we continue to choose to follow our heart. We continue to choose our love. And then we have the Eight of Wands. See, that's an energy that expedites movement through processing of these other unfavorable energies. Eight of Wands is a swift moving energy. In the suit of Wands here, we're passionate, we're lit, we're on fire, we're creative, we're enthusiastic, optimistic, in excited anticipation. Eight of Wands is a great receiving card. All eights have tremendous momentum. So we have a lot of momentum for maintaining heart space, following the energy and wisdom of our heart space. And we continue to unify energies that are supportive of the Empress, the Death card, right? We're very interested in the simultaneous endings and beginnings and participating in that flow in a heartfelt way. Very nice. The Eight of Wands is also a great communication card, and it's super stable. So it's stable communication, it's reliable, it's trustworthy and true. As I tell you every time we see the card in Ancient Tarot, it's a marriage card. So with the Lovers, there is a potential for deepening a connection, expanding a connection, unifying those favorable energies within a relationship. Coming next, we have, look at this, the Two of Cups again. This happened recently. I have a new deck of tarot cards, and I've been reading the meanings in the book because it's based on folklore from around the world. And I was reading on the Two of Cups because the artwork was really unusual in this deck. And when I was reading up on the folklore for the artistic impression on the card, the message was about how relationships really are meant to challenge us, but not so much challenge us in a way that robs us of our joy or creates chaos and confusion, but challenge us in a way to have us considering all of our options. You know, have us consider how we can raise the bar for ourselves. So think of you and your best friend right now and how you challenge one another to rise to greater heights. And that's the feeling here. So when we talk about a fair exchange of energy on the Two of Cups, which it is, we're offering a cup, we're accepting it, and we're also offering one in return. We are offering that caliber of energy to a connection, a relationship, to say, I will challenge you in the best of ways, though, so that you are really soaring, flying high, feeling free and liberated in your self-relationship, and then we share from that kind of frequency. So you have this coming together of energies in the Eight of Wands, and it's now the sandwich between the Lovers and the Two of Cups. So there is a relationship here. Oh, this is so interesting. Let me back up for a moment. Let's go back to the weekend reading where we were perhaps in connection with a relationship in our life that has created the Seven of Swords, that does create the Seven of Cups. There's chaos, confusion. There's this other person's drama. There's their projection, their blame, their inability to accept self-responsibility. And, you know, the load that creates within the relationship that we don't have space for on our foundation, so we've swept it off the foundation. And then here we are with this beautiful sandwich of the Two of Cups and the Lovers with the Eight of Wands right in the middle, because we challenged ourselves to accept connection, relationship with people who inspire us to raise our own bar, right? Oh, that's so beautiful. And then the World, reward of prior effort. Yeah, so the reward out of those other relationships that are probably cycling out of your life at this time, Empress, simultaneous endings and beginnings, Death card. Then here we have the World showing up with the reward of our energetic investment in ourselves. So this is the frequency, this is the joy, the love, the caliber, the quality of connection that we have within self, and how we are experiencing that in our other relationships. And whenever I see the World, I feel that it is such a beautiful gift to us. It's like the world laying itself at our feet. Yeah, doesn't that feel amazing? Because of the way you journey within your soul, within your spirit. Fantastic. And then we have, wow, back again, the Hanged Man. What is this, the third or fourth time in a week we've seen this card? Pause in the action. Pause to appreciate the enlightenment before us. You know, I love that about the Hanged Man. It doesn't bring the action to a stop. The action keeps going. The energy keeps flowing, and we continue to roll with it. But we take an appreciable pause here. And that's what I feel is happening. We are appreciating the World, the Two of Cups, the Lovers, the Empress, the Death card. We're appreciating these two challenging sevens over here as well, because we have risen above that energy. Yes, we encounter it, but we recognize it swiftly, Eight of Wands, and we do something about it immediately, which is so healthy for us. And then we have the Moon. How nice. Look at the beautiful moon there on the Hanged Man. So we're pausing in the action for appreciation, and that appreciation is still a participation in what's flowing, what's unfolding. And then we have the moon here. Something of the unknown becomes known to us. Our intuition is high. And, you know, our intuition, empathically speaking, we may be sensing and feeling a lot. And we may be getting triggered by our gifts to see these sevens and the energies that they represent in our day-to-day world, so that we can identify them again swiftly, make loving heart-based decisions and choices, so that we continue to participate in a fair exchange of energy that challenges us to rise above. How beautiful, right? Whoa. Gosh, these readings lately are just... I gotta pinch myself when I get to the end of them because they're so amazing. All right. Angel answers. Let's get into those. If you have a question, put it to these cards while I shuffle them right now. Allow them to be a confirmation of something related to this reading or not. Or a totally fresh message. Our first card is... This one's back. No need to worry. I think we had this one last week with the Nine of Swords showing up. The worry card, right? No need to worry. That message is still here for us. I also feel that, you know, when we have the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords together, and we know that we can identify that there is a connection, a relationship in our life that produces that kind of energy, that we have to navigate our way through. Sometimes we can... You know, our gears will grind to a halt because we don't necessarily know how to go forward in those relationships. And it's not that we have to necessarily move beyond these people. These could be people in our family, you know. They're going to be around and we are going to encounter them, right? We are going to be interacting with them. It's so much more about how we choose, lovers, to respond to whatever charges the atmosphere, be that from a person or just the energy environment. Maybe the cosmos is intense, right? The astrology is heavy or something. And it's really all about how we choose to respond to it all. And we're bringing our heart to it because we don't want to get woven into the drama. So no need to worry. It encourages us to navigate in a healthy way through those interactions. It's not that you have to literally death card end something, though I'm sure we've all got at least one relationship that, you know, is cycling out in that way. It just simply means that we have the experience, the endurance, and the self-mastery to know how to not get involved because we've made big, happy changes. Our happy has made big changes for us. And that is what we are connected to. That's what we're Eight of Wands married to. Our happiness. Ooh, nice. Next. You know, if you're not feeding it, if you're not feeding this energy, then you have so much less to navigate in that way. Think energetic investment. Next. Emphatically, it is up to you. Yeah. Self-responsibility. We know what that is. One more card. One of my favorites, communicate clearly. This card is so loaded, but I love seeing it. You know, it's be a great listener. Sometimes it's what hasn't been said that speaks the loudest. Check in with the person you are communicating with. Do they understand you? If you've got questions, ask them. Assume nothing. Excellent. All right, let's do our affirmation card. We're going to use that new deck. The Spirit Junkie deck. Let's see what our affirmation is today. I'm just going to turn over the bottom. Oh my gosh. Just like the universe has your back, right? Knows how to summarize a reading real quick, one card. The difficult relationships in life are the perfect mirror for me to look more closely at my own behavior. Yes. Thank you, challenging people in relationships, for holding up the mirror. And thank you for the glorious relationships, you know, the soulful, heart-spaced, shining like a bright, bright light relationships, because they are equally a mirror for us all. All right, everybody. Happy Monday. Have a beautiful Monday. Peace, love, joy, blessings to each of you. Namaste.